Hello, sunshines. How art thou? We are here with Miss BZY Peach. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, hon?
I am great. I'm even better because you are on here, Miss Classy Lady.
Okay, now that's a high bar. Now I have to stay classy, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
I know I keep saying classy, classy, classy. Yeah, you
I'm gonna
are.
be.
You are
I'm gonna
very
be me.
classy.
Oh, Vivian. Hi, Vivian. I've seen her name before.
I know, right? Vivian
Okay.
is always around.
Okay. Nice.
Always around. Yeah, she's a great supporter. How is it in Hotlanta?
It's good. It's not too hot today, which is nice. I guess it's with the storm coming, but we got a little
Yeah.
overcast. But it feels good out. But it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Uh, so she knows you. Vivian knows you.
I know. I think we messaged each other on Facebook in a group. I remember her name. She wanted
Hmm.
one of my early pieces, and we never connected to get it straight. But I still got a door hanging for you if you want it.
You're so silly.
I know.
So what are you so just talk about you. Who are you
Who
and what
am
do you
I?
do?
Okay, so I am BZY Peach online. That's where you'll see me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter a little bit, but not much. But my name is Laverne Benton. And I'm a crochet artist and a new indie dyer. And I love doing crafty stuff. And I've just really fallen in love with yarn and really getting involved with yarn. So the last 2 years, I guess, I've had my business, almost 2 years for the business, but I've been crocheting since I was about 10 or so. So yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I think I'm a late bloomer because I started in my 30s.
But that's awesome though. I mean, because I think even though I started early and at 10, I didn't do it consistently from then, I could
Yeah.
do a little bit, I'd pick it up here and there. But I think, you know, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it started to become something I look forward to after work to come home and decompress, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
yep.
Right. Awesome. So
Awesome.
now you kind of sort of answered my question about your name because I say BZY
I know.
and I'm like, is it BZY or like
It's
is it an
busy.
acronym? Is it busy? Like I'm like, what
Yeah.
is this?
You know what? You know what? How it came about? You know how we have 50 million passwords we have to come up with? I needed a new username for something. And for whatever reason, I was like, gosh, I'm always staying busy doing something for whatever reason. And I love peach. I love peach color, peach flavor, peach scented. Peach whatever, right? So I was like, okay, peach. And then it has another meaning. A peach is a beautiful person. So I was like, okay, I think
Oh,
I'm
it
a
is?
peach.
I didn't know
I think
that.
I'm a peach.
Okay.
So that's how it came about, BZY Peach.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I was like, is it an acronym? I wasn't sure. And then
Yeah.
you said busy. So I was like, BZY Peach. That's right. Okay, that makes sense.
Busy.
That makes
Absolutely.
sense. Cool. So we know who Miss BZY Peach is.
Yes.
I also know that you have a little cutie pie,
Yeah.
little mama. How can you juggle that though? Being a mom and having a business and
Mhm.
you have a full-time job. How can you juggle that?
I do. And I have 2 kids. So,
Yeah, you're the
um,
opposite of me. You have the two girls that's like far apart, and I have the two boys that's far apart.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I think ours are almost like the same distance
10,
apart, right?
mine are 10 years apart. Yeah.
And mine are 12 years apart. So, um, but yeah, the oldest one is in college. We just took her back, nail biting on that. But
Mine going tomorrow.
Yeah, and then the youngest one is in 4th grade and busy. She's just wilding out around the house. And I work full time. I work for a financial institution. That's kind of what brought me to Atlanta because I was originally born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, and so I relocated down here for work 2 years ago. So it's a struggle. It can be a struggle some days. And other days it's a lot easier, but I try to just keep as much of it separate as I can. It was easier before, we went into quarantine and the world closed.
Yeah.
Because when I was at the office, I was at my desk. I couldn't necessarily sit there and crochet out in the open. We had a real open floor plan.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of kept me, made me behave.
Yeah.
Now, I would crochet at lunchtime with some of my girlfriends that we would crochet and donate to organizations in Richmond and in Atlanta. But we would come off the floor, go, sit in the lounge or down in the lobby and, and crochet and knit. So it was easier when the world was open because work was work, home was home. Now it's all together. Yeah. So as I was telling you before I came on, over on this side of my dining room table is my computer setup for work. And then on this side is BZY Peach.
Wow.
Yeah. And then on the back side is where the little one, she sits back there and does, schoolwork. So this is like grand central.
Oh, that's a good setup because in my area, they are over there. They stay over there and I stay over here. And we just have our own little sections.
Yeah.
But this is my full-time job. So this is my area. Yeah, this is everything. My office, right now is my living room with boxes everywhere. But I just can't wait till I move because in the new house, I'm going to have an office.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. I think I'm going to do a tour. Like, I'm so excited because I'm going to do a tour and like, it's a small house, but I'm excited because I went from my apartment to an apartment of an apartment. Now it's a house. And even though it's not my house, the owner is saying, it's your house. It's your house. So I'm
you're going to be living there and taking care of it. Absolutely. Absorb it. But you know what? You're the best of both worlds because then if something breaks, you can call somebody else to fix it. So
someone said that to me. Yeah. Someone said, well, at least you could call your landlord to fix it.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you got the best of both worlds, girl. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So so that's the deal. I mean, I try to juggle. I try to be over here for work during the day, 8 to 5. Go sit on the sofa for lunch. I might be crocheting. Saturday mornings I do my lives from here, so you guys probably recognize the background,
right?
But then I try to get away from here and do my crafting and crocheting, in other places, or at least on the other side of the dining room table. I mean,
the other side.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm in my bedroom doing majority of my crafting, crocheting, and I was told not to do it in my bedroom because your bedroom is only for 2 things. And I use it for almost everything. So I was told not to do it in there, but I still do it in there. And then I was also told to take my TV out my room, and I don't ever say that to me again. That's what I told her. Don't say it to me again. And she was my therapist.
I'm like, did you take it out or you left it?
I told her she need to give me baby steps.
Right.
And that was last year and it's still in there. So I'm still taking baby steps. Do not tell me to do that.
So I have a TV in there. I never turn it on, but my iPad and my phone, it's the same thing. I watch my shows. Yeah. We gotta have some guilty pleasures, right?
Yeah. That's mine.
Yeah.
So let's say who is in here. Gigi, the
Yeah.
crochet queen.
Okay.
Yeah. Disha. Annette
Okay.
is our monitor. So we got monitors on
Oh,
here. And Dorian, that's the Jersey girl. Watch
okay.
T. That's Broken and Crafty.
Oh yeah, that's Tanita. Hey, girl. She was calling me right as we were getting in the
Kamora,
house.
that's our little chick click. Kamora,
Kimora, yep. Kimora's there.
Angie.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yes, we have a lot of people in
I
here,
know. Hey,
and
y'all. I don't know all y'all. I'm excited though.
it's it's fun when you can like put two worlds together, and
Mm-hmm.
your people talk to my people, and my people talk to your people, and you
You just have a
will
bigger.
never know. Like some people are already talking together, and they be like, we already know her," but it's to me, I'm seeing how fun it is because I knew nothing about dyeing yarn, and you
Right.
make it look so fun.
I like it.
I knew nothing about dyeing yarn. I didn't even know that you could do that in your house. I didn't even know that that was a thing because I never
Mm-hmm.
looked into it. Just like you
Mm-hmm.
would never look into Graphghans, I never even knew what that was. I really
Right.
didn't. I thought leave that up to Red Heart and
Yeah.
Karan and stuff like that. But I really didn't know. But you make it look so good. So what made you start doing that?
Curiosity, right? Because my yarn would just be go to Michael's or AC Moore and Joann's or whatever and grab some and keep on rolling. And a year and a half ago, I found out that there were yarn conventions. I didn't know that there were like yarn conventions. You gave me that look. You don't know? Oh, listen, this is where my world exploded. When I moved to Atlanta, I was like, I need to find a new village, right? I need people, I don't know anybody except the people I work with, and I don't need to see them on the weekends. So when I started looking on Facebook, I found this thing called Stitches. And I was like, well, what is this? It's a whole yarn and fiber arts convention. So I told the girls that I crochet with at lunch, write it down. Oh yeah, listen. Okay, so I know we weren't planning to talk about this part, but we're gonna talk about this part for
Let's
a minute.
talk about this part, yes.
Because this is big, right? So I told my girls at work, I was like, yo, there's a yarn convention, like Comic-Con. It's like Yarn Con. Like, what's going on? And it was coming here to Atlanta, and it was gonna be down the street from me. I was like, oh, I'm in. So I started looking at it and researching. And then I started seeing some of the people that were going to be there. And that's the first time I ran into Lola Bean Yarn, because I started looking at some of the vendors and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a little Black girl on the yarn. What's going on? Wait a minute. Right. So I was like, okay, I started looking through her stuff. And then she was going to have a color called Georgia Peach. And I was like, oh, I'm her new biggest fan. Right.
Your friend in your head. Yep.
So I go that Thursday night. They have a market preview where you can go. I was on the phone with my oldest daughter. She was at college. I'm on the phone on FaceTime with her. And I was like, I got to go because this is off the chain. It was walking into a convention center and it was just full of yarn. And so that's how I first found out what an indie dyer was.
And I'm like, indie dyer. And the first time I heard of that was when you said it. I'm like,
yeah, and same thing. So I'm like, well, what does indie mean? Independent, independent dyer, and it just means that you're not a huge corporation or company. Like you are the one putting your hands on the yarn, dyeing it, making it happen. So, and I see somebody over here saying they're watching from Ireland. Hey, Olivia. Good morning to you. I don't know if it's morning over there. Is it morning over there? Might be. But anyway, so she says Stitches comes to Ireland every year. Okay, cool. And there's Stitches that come all over the place. Stitches United is in Atlanta or Connecticut. It alternates. There's Stitches Southwest, Stitches SoCal, Southern California, Stitches Midwest. Did I say that twice? Anyway, it's amazing, Shauna. Let me tell you. And so then I started learning that there were all of these things, and people started throwing these acronyms out. They were like VKL. I'm like, okay, cool. What's VKL?
Is that Vogue
Knitting Live?
Yeah.
So then I had to go, okay, let's piece this together. Vogue, like the magazine Vogue. Yes, there's actually,
Oh, that is the
yeah, like Vogue, like Vogue,
right.
right? The magazine Vogue has a knitting wing, right? So there's a magazine that's Vogue Knitting Magazine. And then they have live events throughout the year.
You
So I
are
went to my first.
taking this to a level I've never.
Okay.
I saw it, but I never like went in deep into it, and I never asked. I just left it alone.
Yeah. So okay.
So
So I was blessed to be able to go. Kim and I went. Kim, hooked on Kim 251 on Instagram. She's like, we're going. Right. We work together. We crochet together. She's like, we going together. If we got to drive or walk or whatever, we're going. So we went, and that was just amazing. It was huge. It was in New York, and you had a chance to meet so many people. So if you're interested in indie dyeing and indie dyers, Vogue Knitting is a good resource. Stitches is a good resource. Right now, all of that stuff is online, right? The world is closed down. And so events that I had planned to do this year have moved online. Another one is the Crochet Guild of America. Have you heard of them?
I am a member.
Yes, me too. So they have a convention every year. It was supposed to be in New Orleans this year, and
Yeah, I saw
myself
that.
and Tara Mitchell from Mitchell's Creations, we were supposed to vend together. So we ended up doing it live on their virtual event because, of course, the world closed down. Anywho, and so there are lots of things like that. There is Rhinebeck, which is like the Sheep and Wool Festival of New York. There's the Southern, what is it? Southern Arts. I gotta look. It's SAFF, SAFF, Southern Animal Fiber Festival, I think is what it's short for. That's in North Carolina in October. I mean, so there's a lot, and I'm trying to. There's a place where you can find all of this stuff. So I'll have to. You and I will work together to put those resources
Absolutely.
for people to look at.
Yeah.
But yeah, how did we get on that tangent? I done lost my train of thought.
I think that was a good thing because I never even knew anything about that part. And that's something that others can look into, because one thing that I also wanted to ask you was, I don't mean to take you from your train of thought, but
oh no, I'm good. I'll come back.
You have your hands in, so it's pattern making, and then now you have the dyeing. And I was trying to explain in mentor, because I have Mentor Monday, that crocheting is something that I love, but I'm not going to be able to make a living off of just crocheting. So I have my hands in a couple of things.
Yeah, so that's
where you come in.
Yeah, so that's another reason why how I got into dyeing, because I thought about, right, you have to think about the time, the effort, the money, how you want to be compensated. Another thing that I like to throw out, and we'll talk about in a minute, is residual income. So you do something once or twice, but you keep making money off of it, even though you don't have to keep working at it. So things like that, right? So I think yarn dyeing, one, I thought it was just fun. Somebody's like, yeah, you can dye with food color in your kitchen. I'm like, really? But that's only for animal fibers and food coloring. It doesn't work with cotton. I found that out the hard way.
It didn't come out pretty enough.
Listen, the colors were beautiful, and they were sitting in, and they were saturating. Okay, cool, great. And then I go to wash everything out, and all the dye's running out. I'm like, where my dye didn't stick to my cotton? Doesn't stick to cotton. So if you're ever trying to dye cotton with food color, hang it up, give it up. It won't happen. So then I had to research and figure out more. Now, everybody and their mom dyes wool, which is great, but there is no way I could compete with the colorways that some of these women and men, were creating. Right. So in doing my research, I was like, let me see what's going on with cotton. And then I can also do cotton here in my home and not have to worry about the powder dyes. I mean, that is an option, but I don't have to worry about having to wear a mask, like what do you call it? One of the ones that weeds out the particles, not like our little cloth mask, but like
the
real one.
The OSHA one, the one that OSHA has. Yeah.
Yes, right. To keep from breathing in the powder dyes. Because I was like, I'm not set up for that. That's not going to be healthy for me or for my little one.
Right.
We're in a townhouse setup. So, we just don't have a huge amount of space to be able to do that. And it's hot in Georgia. I'm not going to be outside dying. I'm just going to tell you that now. It's too hot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it is.
But I started to understand the pricing. When you look at indie dyers' prices, it could be sticker shock the first time you look at what it costs to buy one skein of indie dyed wool. It's like, oh, you want how much? Or I could go to Michael's and get 6 skeins for that same amount. But it's a difference in the product, and what you're getting. And there is a time and a project for every type of yarn,
Right.
So you definitely cannot graph with like indie dyed wool. You'd go broke. You could,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the prices that you'd have to charge to account for your supplies plus your time.
Right.
I mean, you'd have to charge $1,000 for something, for a blanket or a baby blanket, and it's just it's not cost effective. It doesn't work well. So for that, acrylic or commercial cotton or something else is much better. So there's always a time and a place. Depends on what you're trying to do, which yarn you should use or could use.
Right. So the yarn that you have, and I'm going to show it in a few, it is the colors are just so beautiful, and I kept saying I want it, and then I'm like, what am I going to make? But I don't care, I want it.
Right.
So I was thinking, what would I make with it? What do you suggest we make with your yarn?
Thing that I have on my head.
Wait, that's with your yarn?
This is with my yarn. This is with my yarn.
No way.
I'll show you. This is made. So the yarn that I dye, if you guys don't know, if you're just meeting me, I only dye one type of yarn, and that's Pima cotton. And you probably say, well, what is Pima cotton? Pima cotton is a specific cotton plant. It has a long staple, right? So the fibers are long. Can be about 1 inch to 2 inch. So if you were to take a piece and kind of pull it apart, your fibers would be pretty long. It's durable. It is mercerized, which means there's a process that kind of stretches it. It makes it tougher, and it also gives it a little bit of a sheen to it. And so it's what I like to call a luxury cotton yarn because it is really, really nice. So it looks like my light might kind of blow it out a little bit, but
that is beautiful.
I mean, it has a sheen to it.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I love about your yarn, because I can see that shine.
Mm-hmm. And it has a drape. It drape. I know that's a silly way to show it, but it does. So I tell you what, let me show you here. I have I don't want to show the brand because I'm not sure of the brand, but here's some wool, which is fine. And it has a decent drape to it. Like, it's not bad, but it doesn't, when you work it up, it's going to be a little stiff. But if you see here, I mean, it's got good drape. So that means it's soft, it's supple, it moves.
So if you make a nice shirt, nice and flowy, it'll be nice and flowy, because I tried that before and it wasn't nice and flowy, and I thought I spent a lot of money on the yarn, and I felt like I wasted my money.
Now you do have to account for some of your garment making techniques, because one of the differences is wool will stretch a little bit more than cotton will. So pretty much once you do cotton, it's not going to stretch a whole lot when you put it in place. So if you think about wool, and let's say you crocheted a swatch of wool, you can wet it and block it and stretch it out. With this cotton, it's not going to stretch much. You know, if you wet it and try to block it, it might come out like that much, whereas wool might come out a little bit more. So it's not going to stretch a whole lot. So if you're making garments using Pima cotton, and they are fabulous, you do just have to account for, I think, like negative and positive ease. Don't get me started because I'm not a garment maker, but that's what I've heard them say.
What about bathing suits? Can you use yours with bathing suits?
You know, I haven't tried it. I probably would not recommend it. And I'll tell you why. Because cotton wicks water well. It holds it in well. So it's going to get heavy and it's going to droop. The best thing that I've heard for that is the Alizé.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Diva stretch.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
I've heard is best because it has the nylon and the stretch in it.
Yeah.
And so what you're not going to end up doing is putting it on and then be sagging when you come out the water and showing things you don't want to show.
Yeah.
So I have not tried it, but as far as for a swimsuit, for swimming, now for like a good halter top, you know, you're going to some you know, festivals or whatever, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. But if it's going to get wet, it's going to get heavy and it might droop a little on you. Yeah.
Okay.
But these are the colors in my hat.
That is so shiny and pretty. Like, I really like it.
I know, we got to get them in your hands. So this is the polar berry. This one is the African velvet tamarind. And then this one is the Belle of Georgia peach. And so I've named all of the first collection after fruits.
I'm about to show it right now. Before I do that, hi Shanti, pretty girl, and Crowsy. What is it? Crochet Pro?
Yeah, that's Mia. Absolutely.
Yeah. How art thou, Mariana?
Ooh, Mary. Yeah. Okay.
How art thou?
I love it. I love how you say, how art thou? I love that.
I know. It's a habit. I've been saying it for so many years now.
Oh, look at you. Okay, what do we have? Okay. See, you have the whole setup. This is awesome. So that's my website.
This is it. Yes, this is your website. So this right here, the what is this? The LA Lakers colors.
Yeah,
this is so awesome. Like, you don't understand how many times I came to this website and just stare at your yarn because it's so pretty, and the way you even took the pictures made it more inviting. So you named them after fruit.
Yes.
And when you post it on Instagram, and it makes it look like I even want the fruit. Like, it makes you want it because of the fruit. So that right there is great marketing, great advertising, and it like lures people to buy it. So yeah, explain what made you decide to do that.
Yeah, well, I figured, okay, here I am, I'm playing in the yarn, I'm dyeing it, let's sell this stuff, right? Because I love Pima cotton, and I figured, well, hopefully somebody else will too. And I was like, what am I going to call all these colors? And, indie dyers get really creative. Some people do collections based on cartoon characters, or there's one lady who does birds. So she'll find a, bird, and the color of the birds, inform the color of the yarn. Yes. And I met her at VKL. Her name was Susan from Robin's Promise. And you guys will hear me say people's names throughout this, because even though, Shauna invited me, and this is her show, and she invited me as a guest, I always like to make this a we thing, right? So it's always about, it's not always just about me, right? It's just,
that's why I say you are the crafty advocate. You're the crafty advocate. You advocate for all of us crafty ladies.
Yeah, because we all have different visions. We have different ideas. We have different goals. And I think we all can do whatever we want to do. But anyway, so I don't know. I just got to thinking, and I'm like, well, I'm Busy Peach, and it's the fruit and the peach. So, well, let's just go with fruit names. So some of them, the fruit came first. Some of them, the color came first, and then I had to find a fruit to go with it. Let me tell you, I'm trying to find. I was like, a grapefruit. How am I gonna find a grapefruit?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
So, but I searched and I looked and I looked and I finally found something. And I was like, okay, the African velvet tamarind. Now I've never had one, but wouldn't that be
never heard of it
one day, like to try all the fruits that the yarn is named after?
That'd be a fun video.
I think that would be funny. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, so that's just where the names came from. And then I like bright colors. I like soft colors sometimes. Yeah. Like this is when I'm feeling a little soft and just a little peachy. If you scroll up just a little bit, the sort of citrus set, that's one of my favorites. It's got the orange and the yellow and the green. So the orange is the let me see if I can find it here. The Chihuro Asian pear, and it's an Asian pear that's orange. It's really pretty. Meyer lemon and soursop, which is, I guess, like a Caribbean fruit. And it's
right. I know what soursop is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never had it. So I can't.
I never had it.
But yeah, so I love these colors. These just remind me of just they're citrusy and they're fun and they're bright. And if I need cheering up, these are the colors that I gravitate towards, And so I pick my colors, even before I started dyeing yarn, I pick my colors based on my mood. If I need to be cheered up, I'll pick something that's bright and fun, what have you. Now, last week or week before last, I don't know, I was feeling a little emo, a little golfy, but still kind of fun. And so this little baby was born.
I like that. The color is too cute too.
Yeah, because it's like, even though I might have my little dark and twisty moments, right? I'm still like trying to figure out a way to laugh through it anyway. So why not with some fuzzy pom-poms? I'm 47 with some pom-poms on my hat. How silly is that? But it's fun, So this is two of my colors. This is my black diamond apple. And if I can find
diamond, it. Yes.
The black diamond apple and oh goodness, where is it?
Black diamond. I like that. Black diamond apple.
I can't find the other one. I think I maybe I used it.
Oh wow.
Probably. And see, I'm being so silly, and now I have to even look up the name of my own darn yarn. But it's you're laughing, but I'm dead serious. It's two colorways held together. So I just held the two of them together. So it's a little bit thicker, and as you could see, it was a little bit stiffer than the one that I have. But that's just because I have a really tight stitch. For this
I do too. Your hat looks like my hat.
Yeah. Let me see. Let's see.
Show you mine?
This is okay. Oh, look at that.
You see, right?
Okay, so when we meet in the real world, we'll have to wear our hats together.
Well, this is for a customer. So I have to make one now.
Okay, now you gotta make one for yourself.
Yeah, I'll make one for myself, but this one is for a customer. Her sister died of she had a brain aneurysm, and that's the color. So this is for her.
Oh, I love that though.
Yeah, but it's the same color too. That's
It is. So it's black diamond apple and fermented grapes. I remember. So those two held together. So I pick my colors on what I'm feeling. Y'all want a little sneak peek? Y'all want to see? It's not on the website. It's not going to be released anytime soon. But I'm gonna tease you for just a second. I was playing around in the dye the other night, and I haven't named this yet, and I don't know what colorway what is going in, but look at that.
What?
Look at that.
I don't even like I need this yarn because you know what it is? It's like almost like the ombre-ish look, like the color is like different and it's like different shades, and that is what makes it so pretty.
Okay, so that's the fun thing about it. So let me tell you how that comes about, and then whatever you really wanted to talk about, we keep going on the tangent. But I'm gonna pull it open. So the fun thing about indie dye yarn is that you're gonna get variations in this, right? So if you really want something just pure and completely solid color, go to Cascade Yarns. They have Pima Cotton, and that's where I got my first bit from, right? And that's where I fell in love with it, you know. So no taking away from the commercial, but you're not going to get these variations in it. Okay. And to me, that adds interest when you create your garment. It's not just flat. It's got a little light, a little dark, a little shade, a little brightness. I'm trying to see if I have. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the best example, but when it's worked up in a garment, you know, or an item, I mean, it just gives it texture and depth, you know. So that's one of the other things that I liked about it. And this happens because when you prepare yarn, you have to soak it first in water, and just depending on if it's wool or cotton, either an acid or a base. And it's going to absorb, but you're still going to have some air in there, right? So the reason it's a little bit lighter here is like this little part probably just didn't absorb as much water as this part did. So when the dye goes to attach to it, you know, it just kind of grabs onto the yarn differently because some places have less water, less air and more water in them versus these. And so that's kind of how you get those variations in it. So this is
I love it.
But girl, I was like, I'm about to dive in this little dye bath with this thing because it was so rich and pretty. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It does. It looks really like rich, like a royal blue, but then you have the little imperfections, which makes it perfect. To me, that's what it is. It's really gorgeous. It's really gorgeous.
So that's a sneak peek. I'll let y'all know when it's coming. I haven't figured that one out yet. It might be a couple of weeks, so just hang on. Just have to keep posted.
I am a purple fanatic.
Yeah.
So when you had put out one of your purples, I was like, oh my God. And you're doing it now. And look. Wait, hold up. Stop. How much is it? Can I buy it right now? I swear I will cash app you right now.
You're so funny.
I swear. Don't stop.
Well, I'm gonna get it to you. I'll get it to you. I will absolutely get it to you. So this one is the purple appleberry, and this one is diamond plum. So yeah, these are my two purples. So yeah. Okay, I got you. You just need to let me know how many.
So pretty. I don't even care what I make. I just want it.
Just right. Well, see, that's how I shop for yarn anyway. I was like, oh, I like that color. And listen, y'all, look at this. Look at that yarn.
I never saw that. How many times are we on this daggone thing and I never saw that before?
I got yarn everywhere, y'all, because I bought it because I like the colors. It's a problem. So listen, there's a difference, right? There's crocheting and knitting as a hobby. Then there's collecting yarn. I have learned there's collecting yarn as a hobby. I see your bins behind you back there. I see them.
Yeah. I have them in the back, the front, the side. Yeah. I have a box right here that I didn't even open yet that I saw downstairs. It was just sitting there. And I'm like, I didn't even open it yet. I'm like, this is one of the packages because like maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I said to my boyfriend, he's in the one of the groups, and I said, don't get mad at me, but I ordered 65 skeins of yarn. And he was like, that's all he did. That's all he had. His face like, 60, we gotta move. Are you serious? Yeah, but it was on sale. And then I realized like it was some stuff I was missing, and I had to get it. I just had to get it. And I had a coupon that Joins gave me for messing up with one of my orders. I had to use it. And so they're still coming in. Even though I'm leaving next week, they're still coming in.
You're just gonna have to learn to accept there's certain things that gonna come with you. Yarn.
It is. That's me. That's just me. And I didn't it just came. I don't know how it happened. It just came.
Mm-hmm.
It just came.
But so you brought up the purple, and we talked about this a little bit beforehand. The thing that we've got going on with purple yarn, right? And I don't have my personal version with me, but I do have behind. Oops, wrong way. I do have behind me, right there, my pattern for the Empower People purple bandana.
Yep.
So if you're aware or not aware, it's a movement that sparked by Diane Ivy from Lady Di Yarns and Bronwyn from Casapinka. They came up with this idea because, you know, we're in a really interesting political climate these days, and we're in an election year. And so, you know, Diane is a political junkie, and she's all about political activism, and she has become a mentor to me. I made her my mentor. You know, I don't know if she's really agreed to it yet or not, but she still keeps calling me for stuff. So I guess it's okay. So she called me and she's like, hey, this is what we want to do. And we put a lot of thought into the color. We went back and forth about the color. But the color was important because purple represents royalty and power and all of those things that we want people to feel, to understand that they have control to leverage their vote. Right now, I mean, I can't say this is a partisan conversation. I mean, I'm definitely trying to vote the person that's in the White House out. That is my goal. So I can't, you know, tell you. So if that's offensive to you, you know, that as he says, it is what it is.
Yeah, it does.
So the idea behind Empower People is to encourage people to vote. And if for some reason you voted against your interest last time during the presidential election, or you thought that the calls to make America great again were something other than what we've ended up with, we really want you to think about the fact that for Empower People, there are just certain things that we as people really hold true. So Shauna, if you don't mind kind of scrolling up a little bit, and guys, I hope you guys will go and take a look at this when you get a chance, or scrolling down. What is it, up or down? You know, the next if it'll do it.
Right here, or
a little bit further down.
Okay.
Yeah, the commitment piece, right? The idea is, you know, embracing humanity, embracing family, embracing community, emphasizing equality, emancipating equity, right? Those are the 5 things that we really wanted to focus on because, one, we are all human. We're human beings, and we just want to be treated like human beings, and the things that we believe that as humans we should be entitled to: peace, freedom, you know, the ability to seek out the things that will make us happy and to reach our goals. Family, you know, we have family. We were talking about our family earlier, right? Family is intertwined in everything.
Yeah,
because it's who we are. It's where we come from, and it's what we produce, and it's who we surround ourselves with. And even if it's not the family that you were born into, it's the family that you've chosen for yourself, right? So, you know, that's important to everybody, right? I don't know who you are, but on some level. Community, right? We can't do it alone. We are in here as a community, right?
Right.
A lot of the names on the side over here I recognize, and then there are a lot that I don't, but hopefully we'll get to know each other better. And, you know, Shauna and I are part of, you know, community, you know, on different levels, right? The broader fiber community, you know, our little Zoomies group that chat and kind of keep each other together, you know, whatever it is. But everybody kind of needs other people around them. And so building community, I think, is important. Emphasizing equality, that's important. You know, I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care if you put on pants or a skirt. It doesn't matter. You know, you're human. It kind of goes back to humanity for me. And I feel like, you know, we should just all have equal access to things.
Right.
And then emancipating equity, right? You know, what does that mean, right? We want equity and social mobility for all. Well, what is social mobility? social mobility is the ability to change and move. And that is to improve your situation socially, economically, geographically, in whatever way, right? And so it's about being able to, if you wish to improve or change where you are, being able to do so without restrictions, right? Without a lot of red tape or bureaucracy, to keep you from being able to move and improve and to grow. Because the one thing that, I know my parents wanted for me was for me to be in a better situation than they were in. And I know their parents wanted them to be in a better situation than they were in. And I absolutely want my children to do better than I'm doing.
Right.
And so it's kind of all of that. So I'm gonna stop preaching in a minute, and I'm not preaching, but I must get off the soapbox. But we are knitting and crocheting and sewing to encourage people. So when you're out being an activist, if you are out protesting, if you are out voting, hell, if you just go into the grocery store and you want to put it on, that's fine too. We want you to do it. Now, I don't know if she's still in here, but was it Watch T, Tanita? She is Broken Crafty on Instagram, and she created the sewing pattern. And it's really easy. Cool. I can't sew a straight line, y'all.
Neither.
Promise you I can't. But I was able to sew this. So
you did that.
If you look close enough, it kind of goes like that.
Oh my gosh, but I don't even know if I could do that.
But listen, Shauna, I'm telling you, if I could do it, you can do it, right? So yeah, there she is. She's still in here. So I took her pattern and I sewed it, and I made my little bandana. And Simone and I actually had ours on the other day when we were out and about. But the idea is that to encourage that activism, it's a visible sign just to encourage that activism and to galvanize people online to participate, to encourage others to vote, to encourage others to register, and make sure that they are participating. Mariana says she couldn't say to save my life. Okay, well,
I can't either.
We got the crochet and the knit pattern out there, and all of it's free.
I have the crochet already, the crochet pattern. I just need some yarn, which, we'll talk
all right. I got you. She said she's on her little phone. What's the link? Okay, so that's Rivka. Hey, Rivka. Hey, girl, the link is on my website.
I'll put it here. I'll put it there now.
So she'll put it in there.
Yeah, I went on there like when you first told me about it, because when you first launched it, when you guys first launched it, I'm like, what is this? It's purple. What is this? And then I realized it was more to it than just purple. So when we spoke and you explained more about it, I'm like, I'm on this. I'm game. Then I was thinking like, because I like to do my little Graphghan thing. Can I put the bust on it? Like I was thinking of all types of things of trying to make it appealing. And
you can put the word vote on it.
Right. Yes. So I love this. I love this idea. I love that it's many of you guys and different. You guys are all different, doing different things. And the fact that you came up with this is excellent. So kudos to you guys, because like I said, crafty advocate, because you guys are taking something as important as voting and making it crafty. And like you said, we have a community. So this community of crafters getting together and doing what we feel is right for us. And that is what I love. I love it. I love it.
And I'll tell you, there's there are some folks who feel like they don't want any politics in their knitting. They don't want any politics in their crocheting or their sewing. And I get it. Cool. You can go on over there and do that. But it's always been political. In a sense, it's never just knitting or just sewing or just, crocheting. And, it could be that, you know, it's just for peace of mind for yourself, right? Like I said, I used to crochet after work to just relax because the counting and the rhythm would just help melt the day away. You know, quilting, because I know we have one or two sewists in here. Quilting, you know, the history of quilting back in the day when some of our ancestors were slaves, you know, those quilts had messages in them. And when they got hung up outside, it was a message that the other people did not know what we were saying.
I actually did a graph, the Underground Railroad graph, the quilt. I did every symbol.
Right. You know, one of the most famous pictures of a Black woman, you know, sitting down and knitting is Sojourner Truth. You know, you go on and put, you know, the Google and put Black women knitting, and there's not a whole lot that comes up, but but there's an image of Sojourner Truth, you know, and she was, you know, she was crafting, right? And we know what she was about. And if you don't, go look. I'm not gonna tell you. You need to research.
No, I actually know exactly who she is, but as soon as you said it, I thought of the art piece, and then I thought of a Graphghan, so that's why I wrote that down.
Oh yeah, good ideas. Yes. Absolutely. But yeah. So that was a lot. Did I answer all your questions?
You absolutely did. You absolutely did. But we was also gonna talk about your journals. I wanted to go over your journals because this is something that I actually brought up to my class. When I do my class and I do the Mentor Mondays, I suggest the journals. I actually have your link in the classroom, and the reason why I did that, including the mask, because that's something that we was trying to do as well, but the reason why I did that is because that journal, I thought it was just a book with, you know, paper, just regular paper. No.
Right.
This is what I've been doing because my sister Gail in Ohio taught me to, when I do my projects, write it down. And I've always wrote stuff down, but that's something I never put two and two together. But then when I realized when I make my project, sometimes, well, all the time, I'm always divifying it. I'm tweaking it and I'm changing it. So she said, write it down, because if you have to make it again, you're going to have to go through the trials all over again. So that's what I do for now on. I write everything down, and I try and explain to them that's the best thing to do. Your journal makes it easy to do that.
Okay. So yes,
and I love it.
Good. Okay, good. So that's, you know, and that's the thing. I think as artists, we hope that what we like and enjoy will work for someone else. So that does my heart a lot of good, because even though it worked for me, it could have been an epic fail and not worked for anybody, but it's good to hear. So this is the very first one that I did, curated fiber collection, aka my yarn stash. So this one is just for keeping your yarn organized. So I won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but let me show you. Where is my wrong page? Let me show you what you do with that part of it. So this one lets you keep track of your yarn.
Beautiful.
Right. And I know you're not going to be able to read it, but that's fine. But what it does is it lets you put the yarn name, brand, weight. You can pick which weight. You got a little spot to tape a sample of the yarn up here. The color, if there's a lot. Usually with indie dyers, you don't get a lot number, but you know, if you buy commercial yarns, lot's important, because if you're doing a big blanket, try to get all of your yarn at the same time with the same lot, so you don't have too much variation in the color, right? So you find that you don't get enough, you go back, it's a different lot. It's like, that's not the same purple. It looks the same.
Yeah.
You know, that's happening. You can put the skein amount, the weight by ounces and by grams, and then the yardage or by meter. And then I have a section here that lets you break down the cost. So you put how much you paid for it, and then you break it down into your cost per ounce, cost per gram, cost per yard, cost per meter. And that helps you for for those of you like you, Shauna, who are making, finished goods, and you know how much yarn you've put into it, you need to recoup your cost. You need to make sure that the cost of your goods, you recoup that in your price. You've got to get your cost of your goods. You need to account for your time, make a profit off of what you're selling. So if you spent $20 on a skein of yarn, and it took 2 skeins of yarn, but you sell your product to somebody for $20, you've lost money.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this can help with that, and it can help you, keep track of that and know how much you're putting in. You can also put the hook size, or the needle size, and then your washing instructions. But I also came up with a project journal, and then I have some that are combination, because you might want to put the yarns and then the project separately. But the project piece is really nice because it's 2 pages for one project. And what it lets you do is you can put the project name, the source of the inspiration, your theme. There's a little bit for yarn details, but again, if you want to be really specific about it, you can, go to that section. Hooks and needles use, other tools, and then you've got planning space, right? So you've got space to kind of draw it out, make your notes. I'll show you, where is, here we go. I couldn't find this one to start with. Okay. So this one, I decided that I wanted to do like a necklace. And this was just like a quick spur of the moment. So I kind of drew it out, and I had some colored pins. So I was like, okay, let's use these colors. Now it's like cotton crochet necklace. I wrote how wide it should be, 12 inches. If I wanted to do a pastel version or bright bold version. And then in the end, I took, a couple of pictures of it, and I just pasted those there and put the details on here.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's got like the care instructions on here. I put some notes. So I put, we'll do with different colors for a more rich look. I put the start date and the finish date. That can help you with how long it took you to make it. Time to complete. It could be days, it could be hours. And then again, just a little section here on cost of materials, wholesale price, retail price, right? Because some things you may sell to be resold, you may make to be resold. Not so much crochet garments, I don't know, maybe. But if you have some type of product that you're making, what's your wholesale price? And be ready for that, because I wasn't ready for that. People were like, oh, I want to do your yarn wholesale. I was like, oh, hadn't thought about that. So I kind of had to go back and work out those calculations myself. But if you know in advance, you can prepare for that and you can be ready. Right. So yeah, so that's the project journal piece. And a lot of people liked both. So you can either do, the yarn journal by itself, the project journal, or you can do a combination. You can see I've already written on mine, right? Various projects. And that's the thing, like, make this yours, add pictures, tear stuff out, tape the yarn in it. I mean, one of mine is kind of thick. It's like, all right, it's a little thick because I've got like my bulky yarns in the front, some of my Lola Bee yarns, right, in the front. That big old but they're small, they're lightweight, they go in your project bag. I mean, if you really want to get cute with it, you can get the project bag.
A matching bag. Yes.
And I have one guy. I got another guy coming up soon, but this one, he's a little cheeky. He's like a gentleman never tells the size of his yarn stash. Right? A little cheeky. But the guys like the fact that there's something for them, because in this world, they kind of tend to be the minority.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nice.
But nice. Are helpful. And if you want one that's branded for you, I do custom journals. So I do take orders.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, man.
Listen.
Yep. So you'll see Lady Di now. Lady Di Yarns. She commissioned one for one of her. Well, I've done quite a few for her now, but this one was for her Black History Month yarn set. So she commissioned it. She was like, whatever you want to do, it just needs to be related to Black history. I'm like, okay, well, red, black, and green, you know, we're going back to the motherland.
So you drew this, or you have someone that does it?
No, I do all of the artwork myself. So
let me find out
how I do it. Don't tell them. Don't tell. But I do all of the graphics myself and self-publish them. And
what?
Yes, so I can do that for you. So if you have your brand, if you want a CreativeStitchNDiva,
I do, and I want to. Yes,
you can do that, and then that way, when you're doing your classes, although I love the fact that you talk me up, absolutely, and I'm so appreciative. But you can have your own, right? I mean, now my name is going to be on the back because I created it, but I'm just saying, like the front, it can be totally branded for you, right? Yeah, and the back, you know, the graphics. So I have a guy I met at VKL in New York. I didn't know who he was. I don't know who all these indie dyers are, right? And this guy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's so handsome. He has a little salt and pepper in his beard. And I'm like, oh, you're just handsome. You know, he's just like, hey, gave me a hug. I'm like, all right. He's like, I bought your book. He, you know, because it was a guy. So he bought the book and he's like, can we take a little picture? I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Okay, so I go to look at his Instagram page. He's got like, you know, I'm like, oh Lord, okay, he's like a superstar. But Chris, from Cabin Boy Knits, I had no idea who he was. We ended up chit-chatting and talking, and he's like, I want one for me. So I don't have that one out here to show, but you can go look on his page, or you can look on my page in the journals. And I've got one that I did for him with his little salt and pepper beard with a cabin in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. I love doing it. It's a lot of fun. So yeah.
I want a diva one.
We can do that.
I gotta have one. Yeah, I gotta have the diva, you know, the hair and I have to have it. Yeah, yeah. I need that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Deepa said, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Uh-oh.
Yeah, because she already bought her journal and everything. I'm like, okay, all right, sis. Because I had put it in there because I thought that it would be a great idea to introduce them to something I was already doing, but I was doing it in a notebook. But the way you have it is just
I
didn't even think of.
This is my little book, you know. I got all my little stuff in here, but it's heavy and it's thick, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, and by the time I put this and the iPad and everything else in the project bag, it weighs a ton. But this is nice and lightweight, and it's so easy to just take with you that it's so much better. So I've been using my own journals actually. So yeah.
that's good. You're supposed to. You're supposed to use your own.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And the mask, like I said, I have that in there as well because a lot of people say, do you have a pattern? Do you have a pattern? Yeah, this is the pattern. But the graph, you have to get that and you have to put it together yourself. I'm sorry. But that just kept, it's like, it almost like it sells itself. So when I was looking for a pattern to do it, because I try to find something simple, but it's never simple when you're adding a graph to it, right? So when I was looking, I wanted something cute and something that looked professional, kind of, sort of. And I saw some others that were nice, but it just like, it wasn't that wow, pow, bam. And when I saw yours, I was like, that's it. That's it. Okay. I'm going to get this. So when I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to add a graph, I do it first. So I did your pattern, super duper easy. Okay, very, very easy. I love the fact that you have the little check marks there. So you put it in the little slider and then you use it and you're able to erase it. That was a plus. I told my class about that as well.
And that's because I'm special, because I get lost in a girl, I'll get lost in a pattern. I was like, I don't know where I am. I got to go back and count rows and count stitches. I was like, nope, I need to be able to check this off.
Easy peasy. And you could be able to use it over and over and over again. So I thought that was great. And when I did it, I was like, I love the way it looked. It was so beautiful. How am I going to add a graph to this, though? It was kind of difficult. I didn't know.
No, you
I
did
had
it.
no idea. So I had to play around and play around, and then I finally was able to get it. But your pattern, it could
Uh-huh.
be. I don't really need a graph. That's how nice it is. I see so
Oh,
many people trying it. They're trying to do the mask,
okay.
and it doesn't look like mine. And the main reason is because the way yours is shaped and
Right.
how it is.
Right.
That's why, because everybody else is doing just a rectangle.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, no one's asked me about that before, but I'll tell, and you didn't ask, but I'm a volunteer anyway. um, yeah, looking online, there were all the sewing patterns, right? The ones
Mhm.
that give you the kind of the curve.
The Darth Vader look.
Huh?
The Darth Vader.
Yes.
That's what I call
So,
it. The Darth Vader look.
so I'm gonna tell you what I did, and I'm gonna challenge somebody out there. I don't know who it is. One of y'all is gonna hear this, and you're gonna go do it with something else. And you have to make sure you tag me when you do it. But this is what I did: was I took that pattern, and it's the half size, so it's like, it's got the half circle and then the part that goes out, to here. So I printed it off, and I crocheted along the bottom till I got to a certain point. Then I went back and I crocheted, and then I was like, okay, I need to increase one. Nope, I need to increase two. So the way I built it was so that it would, it would have that curve in it based on the pattern. So I took the flat pattern and I crocheted to the halfway point, made sure it looked okay, and then came back. And that's how I did it. So I literally just kind of built it from that paper pattern.
That
You
was
see what I
brilliant.
mean?
That was brilliant.
So the I think that I have not learned how to make garments. I have not taken a class on garment construction and all of that stuff. That might come later, right? But I know how to mimic something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I can, and I think that's kind of what works for me with the journals and the shapes. If I can kind of see the shape and I can kind of crochet to the shape, then I can kind of work my way into it. Like I didn't do a pattern for this hat. It's granny stitch. And I just kind of did it till I thought, okay, well, I think that's big enough for my little noggin, right? And then start going down. And so eventually I'll sit down and do another one and I'll write it up. But that's what I did. And try it, right? So somebody has something that they want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Try it. If it's a shirt, put a shirt down on the dining room table and measure it out and figure it out.
I actually do that.
Oh, yeah. Or a shawl.
I actually do that. Yeah.
Or a hat.
I do that because that was my aunt. She used to sew for Saks Fifth Ave, and I used to watch her. And I noticed that this was like so long ago though, but I noticed, because I'm always watching, I've always been a crafty person. So I noticed that when she used the patterns and she's doing this and doing that, but I didn't know how to crochet at the time. This was like way back when I got old, well, in my 30s, and I started crocheting. I'm the type of person. I'm the type of person that when I see something, I want it, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna do whatever I can to get to it. Right. And if I want something, there's no pattern out there for it, I'm gonna do it. And my aunt said, "Did you ever try using a sewing pattern?" I was like, I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it. And that's what I did. And I made a shirt, which was the halter top. But then of course, I added the Graphghan to it. So I actually just posted that on Instagram like a week or two ago. I actually made it last year, but I just posted. I don't know why, but I just posted it.
I'm gonna have to go and look and see which one you're talking about again.
Yeah, it says I'm lit. That's what it says.
Oh, yeah,
I'm lit.
that one.
Yeah, my son's girlfriend is wearing it.
I love that. I love that one. Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
That's how she makes her mask. Yeah. So somebody, I don't know who it is. Y'all gonna have to give me a little thumbs up or something, but who's gonna try it? I want somebody to step out there and try it. Take a risk.
Yes, please try it. Let us know.
Who's up for taking the risk? I need a little thumbs up. I know Shauna and I are talking at each other, right? But
I know, right?
This is interactive.
try it and let me know. I want to know. I want to see.
Yes. And you know, the thing, so I want to be able to design more. Right now, my patience is not there. I can't do large garments because I lose patience and I'm like, I'm on to the next thing. So I've been doing small stuff and I've been doing hats. But, you know, I say just try it. Like, you know, I think taking a pattern writing class is excellent. And if you can do it, do it. But
did you?
No.
I would never know. I would have never known. Like, that is just, that pattern was like so easy.
So I looked at it for the patterns that I have bought, what I didn't like and what I liked about them. I put into mine. See, somebody said, do I have a tutorial for the cap? Not yet. But Victoria. All right, Victoria, you volunteer. You asked the question. I'm gonna throw this out there for you. Victoria, can you do a granny square? Tell me that first, and then I'll give you the rest of this. No, I've never taken a pattern writing class, but if you can, do it, right? I'm always the kind of person that I'm going to try something, I'm going to do it. Like you, it's like if I want something, I'm going to try it, do it, I'm going to make it happen. And sometimes I have the patience for it, and then sometimes I don't, right? But I say just dig in and try it. Take a pattern that you have used before. I don't want you to plagiarize or copy anything, but look at it and think about what you like about it. And those are elements that you can put into writing your own pattern. And if it's missing something, for me, I don't like the fact when it's just paragraphs. It's just paragraphs and paragraphs. And paragraphs.
I can't take
and
that.
I'm like, I don't know, you know, or if it's like 6 things. My first one is a hot daggone mess. Don't go get, see this peach over here?
Wait,
right there.
Oh, the peach. Yeah. You have that there.
And I have that pattern out there. Don't buy that. I promise you. And I'm not being funny. Like, yeah, because I know you're going to buy it because I said don't buy it. Because I got to rewrite it. Because it's a hot daggone mess. Because it's just like, do this stitch and this stitch and this stitch and this stitch and then do this stitch. And I was like, what was I thinking? I couldn't follow my own pattern.
Wow. Well, that was your first one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There you go. That's
So I've learned, and I'm going to go back and rewrite it because I was like, I can't keep up. And I would be making marks and scratching through stuff, trying to figure out where I want. Let's see, Victoria, I want to make the cap she is wearing. Yes, I know. Victoria,
everybody wants that cap.
Listen, I'm getting ready to tell y'all how to make it, but I need to know if y'all know how to make a granny square first. That's the first question. So I need y'all to answer. Y'all not answering. Look, or there's a lag. Okay. I need to know if y'all can do a granny square. If you can do a granny square, you can do this hat. If you can do the granny
square. That's not a square.
Oh, really?
That's a square.
All right. I'm gonna dip off because my hair is a hot mess. So we're gonna switch real quick and I'm gonna show y'all. Okay. All right, I'm getting some I-dos. Okay, cool. Hold on. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna do a quick switcheroo.
I love it.
So get y'all's pencil and paper. I wasn't planning on doing this, but this is cool. So if one of y'all writes this up and makes it a pattern, sell it. Get your money, okay? Because this is a we thing. This is a granny square.
Stop playing.
It's a granny square. So I started trying to get the light right. I started as a granny square. Where's my, right there in the middle. That's my granny square. And so it's just a basic granny square. So I'm gonna fold it on the square so you can see. Where is it? Okay. I'm gonna fold it. This is my granny square. Okay.
What?
So you're gonna, it's a real square. Marianne said it's a real square. It's a real granny square. So you take the granny square and okay, so there's no math to this, but I can measure it for you real quick. So my granny square is about 6 inches. So it's 6 by 6. Okay. So you may need to make it a little bigger. You may need to make it a little wider, but the circumference of my head, my hats are about 22, 23 inches. Okay, so this is it's 6 inches. So what you do after you have your 6-inch granny square, what you're going to do is on the next row at the corner, dang on it, this light is too much. Let's see. All right.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, so see, this is normally your granny square corner, right? You got your 2 in the corner.
Yeah.
When you're ready to start bringing it down, only put 1 cluster in the corner instead of 2. Okay, so you're not going to increase anymore.
Okay.
And so you just have that 1 cluster in the corner, and you're going to go around. And then when you step up to the next one, it's just all going to be in the spaces. So you never do 2 in a space anymore after that. And what that's going to do is it's going to give you the round, right? So just like when you're crocheting in the round, you increase, and then as you get to a certain point, right?
Get the body.
Right. To get the body, you need equal number of stitches on each row.
Right.
Okay. So let's see. Oh my gosh, real granny square. Yes. Okay, Nia, you can make a granny square. Okay, Nia. Oh yeah, Nia, I need to see a granny square in your yarn. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Who else? Oh, Gigi. She has some granny square hats. Okay, cool. Yep. Granny square.
I never knew that.
Okay, so I'll tell you another way you can do it, but this is like the solid, all one piece. It is. It's just you do the granny square when you get it big enough that you want it. And so it does, kind of have some little points to it. But again, this Pima cotton is soft and is supple. So it pulls down and it stretches.
Now, but when you had it on top of your head, I just thought it was a regular beanie, no square. So yeah, you did that. Yeah. You did that.
Yeah. And then going down, let's see, I did about 3.5 inches of rows down, right? And then the edging, I do kind of like the ribbed edging look.
Yes, so I do too.
That's talked about front post, back post.
Yep.
Okay. So that's all that is. The edging is I did 1 row of single crochet to give me a nice consistent, base, right? Yep. And then I went back and did, are these half or double? Hold on. These are half double crochet, front post and back post only. So okay, so after you get to your last row of granny squares, do 1 row of single crochet so that you have consistent stitches all along. And then the next row after that, you're going to do half double crochet, front post only, half double crochet, front post only, half double crochet, back post, and then half double crochet, front post, back post. And I just alternate it. Okay.
Okay.
And I did 3s because, your granny square clusters are typically clusters of 3.
Yeah.
So it should work out. And
yeah.
It's okay. It's,
That's so cute.
It's like, that is so amazed. Cute. Okay. So another way you can do a granny square hat, I don't have a sample of this one, but I'll do this for the hats that I donate. You can do 5 granny squares, right? So you'll have 1 on the top, and then you'll put 4, and you'll sew them together, and you can make a hat like that.
1, 2, 3. Oh,
right. So you have 1 granny square on the top, and then you sew 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then you can put some little edging around it to make it look cute, right? And stick some pom-poms on it if you want. No decreasing. No, I did not. Well, you know what? I think who was that? Olivia, when I came down here to the after I did the last row of granny crochet, when I did the single crochet, I probably skipped 1 or 2 spaces just to, tighten it in just a little bit. But the granny, Yeah, but the granny square clusters are, I did not decrease on them at all. So, you know, you don't, decrease is going to bring it in, and it's hard to do. I don't know how to do it on granny squares, to be honest with you, because granny squares, you're kind of blossoming out.
Yeah.
I don't know how to decrease on granny squares, but yeah, no decreasing on this part. It's just, it's the same number of clusters all the way around to give you the body of the hat. But yeah, you can pull it in a little bit here if you want, just on that row of single, you know, maybe just skip one every, I don't know, 5 or 6 stitches, just to give you a little bit of an indent.
Right.
And then, you know, do your ribbing.
Let me find out. Yes. That was so unexpected. We did not talk about that.
I know. Listen,
that was so unexpected.
Listen, you participate in the Saturday morning shenanigans. You know I'm not predictable.
Nah, it's shenanigans. Yeah.
You know what you were getting into.
I did. But that was, but see, I'm sometimes unpredictable, and sometimes I just go blah, blah, and just stuff comes out. So, but what I wanted to do was introduce, I wanted you to know my vision. And I would love for you and some of the other ladies to be a part of my vision. Yesterday, when we had Coach K is a longtime friend. And back in the days, I was a welfare mom. So she had a vision of a lot of other single moms who were on welfare to do anthology. And that was a book where we all put our thoughts together on how we were a welfare mom. So the book was called Confessions of a Welfare Mom. So basically I was confessing why, what happened, you know, how did I feel? How did that make me feel? And it wasn't just mine, it was others as well. It was like a good 12 of us. And like she mentioned yesterday, you are, Shauna, a published author, but I don't really talk about it no more. I don't really talk about it. But I did tell her that I want to do another book. But kind of keeping that, I thought of a book that we can do as crafty women. I say that crochet saved my life. But all of us have our own versions of how crochet impacted our life.
Yeah.
I would love for everyone who would love to be involved in this book to write an insert. That's it. Write an insert. How did crochet impact your life? And what is that doing for you? Is it something that is making you successful? Is it something that, you know, you're just doing as a hobby? And I am thinking, I couldn't find anything out there like that. I couldn't find like something. I really would read something like that. And I don't want just a how-to. I want something that I could really like deep down feel the feelings that we are getting when we are crocheting, the ups and the downs. And you make it look so beautiful and pretty. And somebody said that to me, like, make it look like it's so easy and that everything is so good. And it's not. You don't understand how many days I cried or how many days that I just didn't know if I could keep doing this anymore. And some days that, you know, I have to be a mommy over a business. I have to be a mommy before that yarn, even though sometimes it's like, but I want to write that down. And I want someone's daughter or son who wants to think about doing a hobby or a business to read that book and get inspiration from it. And not just from me, but other women. So that was my vision yesterday. That was the first time I said it publicly, but that was my vision. And she said it because everybody was saying, you know, do we have to be successful? I think Mariana asked that. Do we have to be successful? No, I want there's regular people to write this book. Do you have to know how to write? No, you don't have to know how to write because she hires an editor. All you have to do is write it on a piece of paper. Write it on the paper, type it up, send it to her. She takes care of the rest. That's all I had to do. That's it. Would you guys like to be involved?
I love that idea. I think that's an awesome idea because just like you said, like it's not always about that, you know, the goal doesn't always have to be that you want to be the next Martha Stewart or B. Smith of the crochet world. It could just be that, like Sha Wu says, it keeps you out of jail this week, right? It could be that, it keeps you sane. Exactly. Right?
She's crazy.
It keeps you sane. It keeps you, it does. I mean, that's what it did for me. Because work was stressing me out. I decided to go back to college in my 40s. I don't know what I was thinking, because girl, my brain was like, what are you doing? And I came home and I had to not think, just not think. And that's when I did one of the biggest projects I've done. I'll have to find a picture. But I crocheted a granny square queen size blanket. Just one granny square. I just kept going.
Oh wow. I've done that before though.
Yeah, girl, that was therapy. That's my therapy blanket. That's my like, ooh, let me do some more stitches so I don't.
It is. Yeah. And I bring my crochet everywhere I go. So if I have to go to the doctor's, I will bring it. If I have to go to a certain place that I know I'm gonna be there for a long time, I'm gonna bring it. But the trial and the tribulation of that, nowadays everybody's using certain things as weapons. So if I have to go to court for some reason or whatever, I can't bring my hook. If I have to go to like a public building, you can't bring that. So that's it depends on the state, because here in New Jersey they allowed me to do it. One person mentioned it, and because that one person mentioned it, they stopped.
Dang, look at that. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be in the courthouse anyway, but I'm just saying,
exactly, those are right. Yeah,
those are the places where we need to be able to
be with someone else. But still, I thought I would be okay with the crochet hook and just sit there and watch. And the thing is, the judge had no problem. She actually kept watching me while she was doing her. The judge had no problem. It was just one person say, "Isn't that a weapon?" And then that was when it was like, we can't do that. Yeah. So I want to write about that and write about how, I felt that time when that happened, or, because I'm an outspoken person. So where I advocate for that and what I stand up and say, how am I supposed to do anything? If you feel like you're going to use this hook to stab somebody, then that means we can't walk around with pins, to be honest. That's what I said to them. That's what I said. I said, well, I can't walk around with this hook. You can't have a pen. And then they just looked at me.
Yeah, because that dull hook ain't gonna hurt somebody, but much.
It really isn't. It really isn't. So I want this book to be something that all of us can write down and jot down our ideas. And guess what? You will be a published author. And it could get the mojo started of maybe you want to do more. So I have the person, she has all of that. She even says she'll take care of the graphic, the cover and all of that. So all you have to do is write. Okay. And I'm going to set up an email.
Look, how many words you want?
Listen, I didn't even think of all of that. I know when I did the Confessions of a Welfare Mom, I did like 5 pages.
Oh, wow.
And the 5 pages, I know I got a lot of compliments from mine as my insert, because I'm a creative writer. So because I'm a creative writer, when I write, I was always told to write like someone is blind and can't see. Like they saw before, but now they can't see. You were reminding them how things smell and how things look and how things taste. So that's what I was writing. And they said, wow, we felt like we was actually in the welfare office with you. So
I can't do all that, but but you know what, having pieces of different lengths and I think would be interesting. Like you might have someone that it's just simple, 2 sentences like, hey, boom, 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 or it could be longer. I like that idea. I think that's awesome.
I want to do it. And I think Crafty ladies, because I really don't think we get a lot of, some people don't understand us. Some people don't even think of us as having a business doing something like this. They put us in a certain category. So I think this book would like shut everybody up.
You're right.
Just shut up and read.
Somebody saying like, yeah, the people don't crochet anymore. I was like, oh, you just don't know. I'm like, you don't know how many thousands of us there are online crocheting and knitting.
Yeah, I get told that all the time. Oh, that's a lost art. No. So I'm the type of person that like to bring things out and make you see that this is what it is. So I have so many different ideas because that's what I want. I want to bring this out and show the world that we're here and we ain't going nowhere, and bam, bam, bam. And I think this book can be great because it's not going to be just for crafty women. It's going to be for everyone. Anyone can read the book.
Right. Oh, I love it. Shawu. Okay, we're gonna have to meet because you are hilarious.
It's crazy.
You said crafty ladies. It's not what you think.
She's a dirty hooker. Confessions of a dirty hooker. Don't start. Don't start.
We're trying to have marketing issues. You know, Facebook won't let you post all it. They'll be like, oh no, we can't. You can't post. You can't advertise it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, I love that idea. Yeah, you absolutely. You got to do it. You got it. You got to do it. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be great.
So I'm gonna do it, and once I get all of the lingo jingles and stuff like that, I will I advertise. I like to advertise a lot. So I would definitely advertise, and I will have like a link where we could all send our inserts, and if we have any questions or anything, we all could go in that one little area so we all can talk about whatever we want to do. And it'll be ours. It's not Shauna's. It's not just one person. It's ours, because when Kawan, her name is Kawan. When Kawan did that book, it wasn't her book. It was our book. And when it was sold, it was whatever I sold was mine, whatever they sold is theirs. So you get proceeds as well.
Right.
It's a win-win.
So it really is. Available?
Confessions of a Welfare Mom?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's on Amazon.
Okay, y'all. Okay, so look. So one thing, if I can say encouraging, because you did it and I know I do it, is like you say, you know, like you don't talk about it that much and you don't share that much. Yeah, tell everybody. Tell everybody, you know, because and I've said this to a couple of the women that are in here, you know, you never know who can read the words that you've written or listen to, you know, this replay or see a post that you made that could touch them in a way that could be helpful to them, or let them release, or just let them know they're not alone in what they're going through. So, you know, if you took the time to write it and put it out there, tell people. You don't have to be, you know, braggadocious about it, but, you know, every now and then, just kind of like you did today, you know, just kind of bring it up. You know, hey, have y'all seen this? You know, maybe you're going through something or you having some issues. Take a look at this. Yeah, you know, because you never know. We need to know these things.
Yeah. I do tell every. I think someone even said, including my family, like I'm an open book. I talk too much about certain things that happen in my life, but I do that because I'm the person that I want someone to tell me that they went through what I went through.
Right.
I don't know a lot of people that was had breast cancer diagnosed at 25. So if I knew someone right then and there, that would have been helpful, but I didn't. So I want to talk more about what I went through, because you never know, someone out there who was saying the same thing, because I actually went through serious depression. And that depression put me into a lot of situations that I really don't want anyone else to go through. And when I say crochet saved my life, I mean it saved my life. It came in my life at the later years, but it was right on time. You know, I had 2 boys and I'm homeless. I was homeless, and I'm a nurse, LPN, making good money every single week. And to have a townhouse and a car and all of that been taken away. And it all started because breast cancer. I didn't realize I'm the type of person I just bounce back up. So when I had cancer, I was working and I took chemo. I was working. And because I was 25, they like injected so much chemo in me, like a lot of chemo, because I was so young. And they said that the cancer I had was it's the cancer that go through your very aggressive, and it's the one that go through your whole entire body. It grew really quick. So they pumped me with so much chemo that I was sick a lot, but I still got up and I went to work. And I can't even tell you why I did it. I just did it. And I didn't tell a lot of people I was going through that. I didn't tell a lot of people I went through that. And because I got up and I bounced back and I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I actually got my license around that time.
Wow.
When I was diagnosed, I was 25. I got my license at 27 because the cancer, it was like, okay, I've never drank. I never did drugs. I don't even party. How can, I go to college and do all of this and something like that happened. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get my license. I'm leaving. I'm going to do this. And I did start living differently. But I didn't realize because of that mindset that I had, I was putting myself in some type of depression because I was I almost want to say midlife crisis, but it wasn't a midlife crisis. It was a crisis.
Right.
It was a crisis, but I didn't know. I thought I bounced back really quick, but they tell you to go to counseling. I never went. They tell you to get some type of therapy.
Because we can handle everything. We can handle
it. And I thought I was doing excellent. I was in charge of my own facility and they loved me there. And I was working like 70 hours, 80 hours, traveling here and there. And I'm like, I'm doing great. That's when I was told I couldn't have any more kids. I did lose a baby. But then a year later, I had my Eli. So I'm like, yes, I'm doing great. And then, you know what, Shay? That's exactly what happened. I was in denial.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And I didn't know I was in denial. I didn't talk about it. I just, boom, and so that's why I speak about my life and I speak about everything that I go through, because there's someone out there who's going through something and that they're thinking they don't see that at the end of the tunnel, because 2 years ago, I did not see the light at all. At all. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything at all. I just was like living life just because I had to. And my mom said, you need to get yourself together because you have boys and they don't know what they would do if something happened to you. You need to get yourself together. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And when I'm telling you, crochet saved my life, I'm telling you, it saved my freaking life. It really did. I wouldn't know what I would be doing right now this very second if I didn't have crochet.
Man.
I really don't. I tell everyone that. And I want this book to open up other people's minds, because I know someone else is going through something. Someone else is going through something. And to keep it balled up in there is not a great idea at all.
Right. Like Nia says, she said, she had a rough day, right? This is helping. Good, right?
Aww.
Good. Because it's about that community, and you never know what somebody is going to say. So, I hear what you're saying. I've heard that too. You talk too much, you share too much, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? If it's not for you, it's cool. Like, exit. That's fine. It's okay. Like, get off my back. It's all good. But I've learned I can't keep a whole lot of stuff in, because then it does, like, I just ball up and knot up, and then it's just like, that's not good. So I gotta, say and talk and express, and you gotta do it in the right ways. You know who you can talk to, who you can't.
Yes.
What's the perform or what it is, what isn't, right? But right. I keep stuff in until I snap. But crochet and see, that's how I would be too. I wouldn't say nothing, and then you would say one little thing to me, and I would bring up everything from the last 10 years that you did wrong.
What is your sign? What is your sign?
I'm an Aquarius. I'm crazy.
That's exactly why I asked. My mom does that, and she's an Aquarius. She does that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I thought that was over. Like, why are we doing this?
No, because I didn't forget, and I could tell you what I was wearing and what the weather was like outside too. Now, where my glasses are, they might be sitting right on my face, and I can't remember it. But when you pissed me off 6 years ago, I had on a blue shirt and some white.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so that's not healthy. That's not healthy.
No, it's not.
Not constructively,
It's
I have your
not.
board of directors for your life, right? I have my crochet board of directors. So I call them and run, stuff through. I got my best girlfriend who's in Houston. I need to check on her now with those darn storms. And I call her like, look, am I crazy? This is what's going on. Da, da, da. Use your community and listen and crochet, craft it out, right? Man, make them stitches. And you can tell too, because your tension might be tight.
My mom says I fight with it. Yes. Yes. I crochet like I fight sometimes, but that's because like I'm all right. I need and I've been talking about the whole moving process. This whole moving process is so stressful. But like I said in Mentor Monday, I learned how to deal with certain things, let it out now, and keep it moving. Because some people don't even realize like the chaos my life is going through right now, but you would never know. You would never know, because now I'm able to talk about it, release, deal with it, because it was a time where I never even wanted to deal with it. I would let things go. Hence the fact that I was homeless. So I let things go and not deal with it. I learned how to deal with things. And you want to know something? A toxic relationship of 12 years. Gone. And now it's like, oh my gosh. That's all I had to do? I didn't know. That's all I had to do. Now it's like all this stuff just started like raining down sunshines. I love it. My life is perfect. So even though, like I said, I'm going through chaos, I'm blessed and I'm like happy and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. I'm frustrated, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. I'm not even gonna sweat it.
Right. And there's it's a difference between being in denial about it and coping and making through, right? Like, okay, it is rough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is rough, but I do have that faith and I do know that I'm going to make it through. So, okay, let me hold on to that. Right. And we're going to get it. So, yeah. So I just want to say to you, like, I've enjoyed meeting you and being in your space and hearing from you, and I'm thankful that you do talk a lot and share your stories, because there are things that I've learned from you, and ways that I can kind of help to grow and cope myself, and what you're doing is awesome. I am amazed about your challenge for August, right? So your challenge for August was to a video every day?
Yeah, it was a video every day in August. Video every day. So I missed like 2.
That's okay.
Because I had technical issues, but the fact that I did it during a moving month was absolutely insane.
We're not gonna worry about those two. That was we're not even gonna worry about that. So I am amazed about that. I mean, that because it takes a lot of work, y'all. Doing these videos, making the time, planning what you're going to talk about, how you're going to present yourself. Put your makeup and your earrings on, on a Thursday night or whatever. I
know, right?
When you've been sitting in PJs all day. So I have to congratulate you, for that, because
thank you.
It's amazing. It takes a lot of work, and we're gonna go back and look through these YouTubes and check them all out and learn some things. So absolutely, I just have to congratulate, because when I asked you about that, I was like, what is Vita? And you said video every day. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, and I didn't want to just do a video. I am the type of person, education been like in our family, and we are like very always into some type of education,
Okay.
and some type of educational stuff. And then I said, you know what, if I'm going to do this channel, it's not just going to be about bull. It's going to be about something, and it's going to allow you to learn all avenues of things, whether it's for learning about yourself, learning about, I didn't know a lot about yarn dyeing and stuff like that, learning about the business, and it was a lot of things that I learned my own channel.
Right,
A lot of
right.
stuff I learned in my own channel. So this right here, I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to do this.
Yeah.
But I was able to learn.
So two things I just thought of. One, somebody asked a quick question. I meant to go back to it, and then it got good, so I didn't. The question was about the hat. And I'm trying to go back up to it. I think it was Mariana with the granny squares. Ooh, y'all been typing. Okay, hold on.
I know, right?
Top being 6 rows to the other granny square. It was something about, Mariana, you might have to retype it again, but it was something about how many rows or how many something. And I missed it and I didn't answer it. And then the second thing that I didn't want to forget was I mentioned residual income. How many rows of half double crochet front post did you do? Thank you. Okay. So it was 1, 2, 3 rows, but make it as thick as you want. I mean, my little brim, it's not, it's not too deep, but it's 3 rows of the half double crochet front post, back post.
Yeah.
The other thing was residual income. Listen, so create something that you don't have to keep working at repeatedly, right? So, with doing crochet items, you're going to keep, your hands are going to be busy or whatever. But there should be something that while you're working on a garment is making you money on the side that you don't have to really touch. So for me, that's my journals. Like, it takes me a little while to kind of come up with the initial cover. And if I change the interior a little bit, but once I get it uploaded and published, like, that's done. And so people can just keep buying those and I don't have to recreate it. Patterns, take something, if it's, your most popular item that you create, or it's the easiest for you to write up, go ahead and write a pattern, because still to this day, like, I can be laying in the bed and somebody, just found the mask pattern and boom, there's $5, Oh, and don't price them too low either, right? Because I think my first one, and it did deserve to be $3.50. That crazy thing back there. But $5 for a pattern, and that little $5 can add up. It might not come in like a waterfall, but sometimes I'll get bing, 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 2 or 3 little hits, and then it might be 2 weeks, but then somebody else finds it. So find something that, and then I guess our world is patterns. It could be something else, come up with some other idea that you can create and then can make some money for you. You don't have to have your hands in it, right? Because while I'm dyeing yarn and having my hands in it, I can't do anything else other than that at that moment. But my patterns are out there and my journals are out there, and people can buy those, and I don't have to do anything but just throw it in a box, and send it.
Right.
And I had another thought and it just left me. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, think out of the box. Think outside of the box. We are artists, right? And there's probably more than one facet to you, right? So you might do more than just yarn. You might do something else. So if there's some other hobby that you have, or some other thing that you can turn into residual income, think about that. If there's a problem that you need fixed and you can find a solution for it, sell the solution. Right. So I told Shauna about an idea that I had, and while we were talking, I just got a notification that those things are in the mail to me. So they might get here before next week. So I'm going to tell y'all this, and this is what I need y'all to do. If you're watching the replay, I love you. You're going to have to buy it. First. In the room right now. Dawu, Victoria, Nat, Tanita, you guys. Reach out to me, okay? And I'm going to send this to you. But I came up with something. I had a problem. Can I go ahead and tell them real quick?
Yes, because I need it now.
Listen, I had a problem, right? Because we're ordering food because COVID, everything's coming to the house, right? So we sit in the house, everything's coming. I got a front door and then I have a screen door, right? So my front door opens in, but my screen door opens out. And darn it, if the darn Amazon people and the Uber Eats people don't put my package right in front of the screen door. So I can't open the door to get my stuff. So I came up with a little sticker that you can put on your door, and I will get some to you guys. So, Shauna, do you ever send anything out for most of your stuff is online, right?
Most of it is online, yes.
Okay. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. If you guys order anything from me, I will include this sticker for you. And if you're not able to order anything, but you still want the sticker, send me a message. Just message me on Instagram. It's @BZY Peach. But the sticker,
everything is under the description. The link. Your links, everything, your contact is under the description.
So it's got a cute little picture. I can't show it to you because I didn't prepare because I wasn't going to talk about this, but I get excited about stuff, right? So, but I want to give these to y'all. It's a little sticker that you can put at the bottom of your door, and it says, "Thank you so much for bringing my things. Put it to the left so my door can swing," right? Or, "Thank you so much for bringing my things. Put it to the right so my door can swing." Yeah. And it's working. I printed out a paper.
You said it's working.
No, it is. Y'all don't understand. Because I'll get yarn. I'll get boxes of yarn, and they're tall, and they will put it right in front of the door. And I'm trying to push, and then the box fell down the stairs because I pushed it too far because I couldn't get the door open to get out to get it because I'm not, a size 2. So listen. Anyway, so I was like, okay, cool. So I've had it on my door for the last couple of days, and my little lunch was right off on the side, nice and neat, and I could open the door. And I have the bottom of the door grazing all across the top of my drink.
You know what? I think that would go far because I saw something on the news about one lady saying, "Can you please just spray the box because I have a child in here who has a autoimmune disorder," and they are actually following it. As long as you have like little instructions, they follow the instructions. Yeah. And I have like a little house now, so I think that would be awesome because I would definitely need that.
Yeah, right. Water delivery man. Yeah, they be blocking us. They don't know if we could push that heavy stuff out the way. They could be blocking us in the house, be trapped in there for a week. You never know.
I never thought that would even be a thing, but now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. But why wouldn't they think if you put it in front of the door?
Common sense is not common. I wish it was, but Common is a rapper. It ain't common sense. Common is a rapper. So I'm gonna send some to you guys, but you guys have to message me. But like I said, if you're watching the replay, I do love y'all. But I know Shauna's got a lot of people. You're gonna have to buy it. They'll be out there for sale next week.
Hey, all her contact information is in the description.
But it's a challenge, y'all. Think outside the box, right? Don't limit yourself just to your crochet or whatever it is, right? Of course, maximize that, but just think outside the box and just try it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, it's okay.
Keep it moving. Try something else. And that's what I learned. I don't even know how I learned, but probably because my mind is always moving. But, to do the Graphghaning, you have to do a graph. So, I make a lot from that because I could be asleep and wake up with, saying, congratulations, you got a order. And that's a good feeling when you can wake up in the morning and you see your messages saying you have an order. And it's not just that. I also do graphic design, and I also do like flyers and videos and stuff. And I have my hand in a lot of things that I don't have to spend a whole lot of time on. It sells itself. And that is the great thing about this crafty business. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But you can't take care of your household and live just on crocheting alone. God forbid something happens to your hands.
Yeah.
That's what I had to keep thinking, because I have RA. And with RA, you get the nodules and stuff on your hands. I had to think about that. So I had to think, like, what can I do if I'm not able to crochet? And bam, I have things that I am doing. I'm in the process of making apps. I'm in the process of doing big things. This book deal. Like, I have things that I'm doing. Open up your mind and be different. Something that someone else don't have, they might need, and you can be the one to create it for them.
And don't fall into that trap of, I know there's that little saying, it's like jack of all trades, master of none. I mean, that can be true to a certain extent if you spread yourself too thin. But you know what? The thing that you do well, keep doing it really, really well. But then take those successes and those things that you do well and, and try something else. Try a little something else. Try something here. And something else might click. Something else might bring you joy. Something else might bring you income. Something else might do something for a family member or a friend. It might do something for you. So just, take some risk. I'm not a proponent of skydiving or, bungee jumping, but, you can take little risks that might pay off in big ways. Right. So I challenge you to do that. So somebody's going to do some granny square hats, right? You guys have to tag me. I want to see your granny square hats. And then somebody's going to step out there and try something new, right? So you have to tag us and let us know so we can support you and big you up on what you do, because you got to take a risk. Give it a try. Right?
Absolutely. So we are getting to the end of our little thing, and I do appreciate you for coming on here and sharing what Miss Crafty Advocate does. A day with Crafty Advocate. Crafty Advocate. That's what I'm gonna keep calling you, Crafty Advocate. But I really do appreciate you.
Call me Peach. Just call me Peach.
I really do appreciate you and what you have brought to the family, to the community, and thank you so much. Before I end the broadcast, though, I want to remind everyone, tomorrow, the last day of Week of a Diva, I'm going to have Toy Huff. Toy Huff is she's the psychic chick that I was telling everybody about. So if you don't believe in it, don't worry about it. You don't have to watch. But even if you're skeptical, you could just watch and listen. She helped me. She told me I was going to do this, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know what she was talking about. She didn't say YouTube. She just said something that's going to bring you money every single week. And then she was saying something about followers and stuff. I didn't know what she was talking about. At first, I'm thinking TikTok. Like, I don't even have a TikTok. But then I thought about it, and I was like, is that what she was talking about? It was 2 years ago. And she told me some other things that helped me with my business. So I figure if she comes on here, she's going to do short readings, because we can't do a whole lot. But she's going to do some short readings. But it's something that she's coming out and helping people with, and that is the aftermath of COVID-19. So a lot of people struggling with COVID-19.
Yeah.
I was affected. So she's helping people deal with that. How can you deal with it? Did your business get affected? Are you affected? Your kids affected? Like, now they're remote. Like, now we have a whole new situation going on that we weren't prepared for, that we didn't know. That's what you're going to do tomorrow. Come check us out tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Toy is wonderful. I love her, and she crochets. So she's one of us. She's one of us. So you have a good night, you all. Have a good night. Be
Yeah.
safe.
Thank you so much.
Peach's information is in the description. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Guys.
Have a good night, ladies.
Bye.